Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing today, my friend? How are you? How are you feeling? If you are new here, hello, hi. My name is Talia Joy, and I'm so excited that our paths have finally crossed. What a great episode to drop into today. I'm a spiritual mentor, I'm a channel, I'm a seeker on the path, an old soul. I help you with manifestation and healing and awakening into everything that you're meant to be. So, as I like to do, I want to check in. How is your body feeling? How is your mind feeling? We're going through some things, there's a lot going on. Have you been prioritizing your rest? Are you sipping your water? I hope you're doing well. I have been bringing back the cold lemon water because it feels finally warm outside, and there's nothing like some really cold, really lemony water. I've got a huge mason jar next to me of like a liter of water that I'm just loving. So I'm staying hydrated. Are you staying hydrated? I really hope that you are, because hydration helps us to align with our highest self. It helps our cells to be juicy. No, that's a weird word. It helps everything to function properly in our body. It's self-love, it's frequency. It literally makes our entire body and our digestion and everything happen. So drinking water is an act of self-love. And so everyone take a sip of your water and know that you're manifesting the life you're meant for. So the other thing about this show, if you are new, that you may not know yet, is it's full of alignment. So it comes across your path in the right time, the right episodes, what you need to hear. And I truly believe that it lands in the ears or in the earbuds or through the speakers of the exact people that need to hear it on the right day. So I think alignment's everything. I know that if you're tuning into this episode, you may need the nudge to create a sacred pause in your life with the driven, type of person you are, and wanting to move forward and wanting to heal and wanting to make more money and feel more successful and do more in your life. We also need to be checking in to see if maybe you need a sacred pause as well. So we're going to talk all about this. But speaking of sacred pause, I want to quickly mention the gorgeous, beautiful healing retreat that is happening September 2025. You can just check out the link below. It is coming. Autumn, fall is a beautiful time here on Vancouver Island. It is a 3-day or 4-day, 3-night immersion by the ocean, in the forest, realignment, embodiment, healing. It's going to be so fun, and we get to hug in person. We get to sit in a circle together. I can channel, we can channel, we can feel the medicine. It's going to be so good. So this is a weekend of deep connection, of powerful upgrades, and where we get time to just be, space to just be. You'll get a massage. We have lots of integrated downtime, and it's just going to be so good. So if you're an introvert and an empath and you're like, oh my God, new people, I don't know if I can do this, I guarantee you that you can. Also, I am an introverted empath. It's going to be such a beautiful time to just be in our comfy pants, just hang out together, learn, heal, be by the ocean. You'll really take in that medicine. It's going to be so good. So if you're ready for that, if you would like to gather in person and feel that deep healing that happens when we gather, it's going to be something that you're never going to forget. So you can check out the link below. There are a few different options, a few different types of rooms. You can look at everything that's included, and I cannot wait to see you here. You're going to fly to Vancouver Island or maybe drive depending on where you are. So anyway, check the link below. I won't go on and on. Let's dive into the episode and talk about the power of the pause. Take a sip of water and let's do this. Okay, so this episode is a sacred check-in. And yes, I did take a sip of my water. If you've been listening in real time, I was saying, I think it was in the last episode, that I say that so often, like take a sip of your water, let's dive in, that I started doing it because it felt kind of hypocritical. It's like, put on your own oxygen mask before helping everybody else. So it felt funny to say, take a sip of water, and then for me to just keep on rolling. So I've conditioned myself. Every time I say that, I take a pause, I take a sip of water, and I dive in. So I just did again, and I hope that you did as well. Okay, so what I was saying, this episode it's a check-in. It's a love nudge. It's a breath. It's a reminder that in all of the moving forward and in all of the intentional expansion, because I know you're a self-growth junkie, you're a seeker, you're wanting better for yourself in some ways, you're wanting growth, right? In all of this and in already the momentum that you've been creating, whatever 2024 did to you, it was kind of a washing machine, but you've been creating momentum in some areas. We need to check in and make sure that there's also a sacred space for pause. As your friend, as your guide in this section of life, in this recording, right here, right now, this message is not just about burnout and overwhelm. It's about integrating the truth that manifestation and growth and healing is about alignment and action, yes, but so much of it happens in the stillness and in the pockets where we are being, not just doing. If you've been around the block with this podcast, you know how many times I've said that, right? It's not just what you're doing, it's who you're being. That is the key to all of this. So when we talk about the sacred pause, we need to have moments to pause the push, to pause the always focus on what's next, the constant drive for something else. We need to sometimes pause and intentionally enjoy the present moment, not just the future vision. Really be here now, be in the being. And sometimes we can be having so much positive change. Maybe even like you've met someone special and you're starting a relationship and you've moved and your business is doing well or your career is doing well or you've got positive things going. Maybe you've had children or you got a puppy or you're settling down or you're traveling or whatever it is. It can be so exciting and so good. But even a lot of excitement when we think of the nervous system, and I'm also going to go into kind of the spiritual aspects, but even to the nervous system, excitement is still excitement. Adrenaline still adrenaline, right? So if there's too much of that, if it's out of balance, even if our brain says, well, yeah, but it's positive, we still need to put in pauses. It's integration, it's recalibration. So excitement, like we need a reprieve from that. So whether you've been pushing like hustling, or you've been pushing just to like make ends meet or to create a business, and it's that strife and effort, you may need a pause. But also if things have just been going really good but moving really fast, you also will need a pause. Because the present moment is all we have. It's the only thing that is our business. We don't know what's coming, and it's good to have intention. And of course, it's good to embody the future self and all of this, but we need to also have moments where we pause the push or we will get fatigued. If you're not already, that will come. Burnout will come if we don't pause. So if you're like the people that are my clients, if you're like me, basically, my clients are all amazing people that I could genuinely be friends with. If you're like me and if you're like my clients, you're focused, you're doing the work, you're reading the books, or you're going to therapy, or you have a coach, or you're self-aware, or you're on your path, or you're maybe on the path in the membership. You're really trying to do your best, to really move forward, to anchor in, to have daily practices. You're focusing on the light. You are self-aware. And the question that I invite you to ask yourself is, am I giving myself space for sacred pause? Am I giving myself space to integrate, to be here now? And we don't take a pause because we're failing or because we can't handle it. We take a pause because you're building something so big and so meaningful, whether it's in your health or it's in your relationships or it's in a business or it's in your wealth or whatever it is, you're building something so meaningful, so mighty in your next chapter and in your upcoming season that even expansion needs integration. That type of thing, that type of energy that you're calling in is built on a strong foundation. And even the most beautiful goals as I say, can feel like pressure if we don't give ourselves space to just be. And we don't want to build big, beautiful goals on pressure and burnout and go, go, go. The one thing I want to say as well is if you always hustle your way into success, whatever success means to you, if you're always driving, if you're always on the plan, if you're always, regimented and going and pushing, you will not know how to enjoy yourself when you get quote unquote there. So if you push and strive and hustle to make money, as soon as you're making more money, you are going to continue to push and hustle and strive because that's how you've taught yourself that success has to be. That's all you've known. So you're not going to stop once you make money because in your mind, you're going to be like, I can't stop. It's all going to fall away, right? And I'm going to get to in a moment the biggest things that have us stop, that have us not take a pause. And that's one of them is that if I stop, everything's going to go away. So if you hustle your way into money, if you force your body to become quote unquote healthy through a very restrictive plan or some regiment, even if you lose the weight or lessen the inflammation or start to feel better and get more fit, you're not going to know how to enjoy it. That was literally my eating disorder. Is like I would lose weight and it was never good enough. It would make me smile for like 3.5 seconds and then there'd be another goal. And I would get more and more insecure the more weight I lost. It was weird. It was like in a bathing suit, I was less and less and less secure the more weight I lost because it was never enough. I was never enjoying what I was. And that was in a very disordered time. So that's not quote unquote normal as far as how we want to be functioning in our everyday life. But it's the same type of premise. If you're always hustling, you don't know how to stop and enjoy your life. So you have to practice slowing down and enjoying your life now so that you know how to enjoy it when you get there. If you integrate some space in your diet, like in the way that you eat, as you're getting healthier, then when you're healthier or whatever we have as that like next goal, you also learn that like you can have a muffin if you really want it, or if you really want that glass of wine because you taught yourself moderation. But if you go into it with all restriction and force your body into something, you're not teaching yourself to enjoy life. So when you're manifesting and you're writing everything out and you're dancing under the full moon, I mean, that's awesome. So don't stop doing that. But when you're really focusing on like my next inspired action and more affirmations, and even if I call it force manifest, even if you force manifest, you're not going to know how to pause and enjoy it. And isn't that why we are doing all these things? Aren't we trying to get healthier so we can enjoy our body and our life and our energy? Aren't we trying to make more money so that we can frickin' relax and enjoy our life and go on a vacation or hire a whatever or build, an addition to our house or like whatever we're telling ourselves will make us feel happy, will make us feel like we're enjoying our life? So we're doing all this stuff so that hopefully one day we can relax and enjoy our life. But if we're not learning how to relax and enjoy our life now, we don't have the skill to do that. We don't have the skill set to know how to relax when it comes. And that's how people who get really successful just burn out or become workaholics, or up until retirement and beyond, they never stop. They never take a vacation. Like, what was it all for? So are you giving yourself the space to sacred pause? Whether it is your career, your business, or even your self-growth, your determination to heal, your determination to rise. Take a second to be here now and see how far you've come. So sometimes pausing from the push, sometimes it's not just about stopping. It's about slowing down for long enough for your nervous system to catch up. And it's not all or nothing. There's not one way to do this. You can, yes, take a week off work and pause. But what I've learned to do, because I also have 3 kids in a life that feels like I never get like the clouds to part and I just get all this time to pause, So I try to get it in every day where I take pockets of 10 minutes, 20 minutes to let my nervous system settle. before I go to bed. And then some days I do have the space in the day to take a nice longer bath or meditation or whatever it is. Of course, sometimes that does happen. But I'm almost trying to drip feed pausing into my life so that I can keep up with the forward momentum. So it's about pausing for long enough that your nervous system starts to catch up with your desires, or starts to, first of all, just chillax and learn safety in where we are right now. Your nervous system needs to know that it's safe to be here. So if you're pushing, always strifing, always going, that doesn't register as safe in our body because we're literally like chasing something else. So when we take moments to go, okay, body, land. You're here now. You are safe. We are doing a good job. And enjoy this moment. So let your body land. And even as I said, when everything feels like it's going right, when the business is starting to thrive, when you're elevating your health, when you're having big breakthroughs, when you're meeting new people and deepening relationships, you still need space to recalibrate. And some of us need more space. I know that I genuinely need a lot of space, like probably compared to most humans. And it's not personal to anybody. It's I find solace and I find that I recharge when I'm by myself. When I'm outside with my face to the sun and I'm listening to the birds and there's no other stimulation and nobody around. Sometimes it's that alone time, even if because the house is full and I just drive to the beach for 10 minutes, it's really close. Like sometimes I just need a little pocket of space. So if you are HSP, like highly sensitive, if you are an empath, if you are an introvert, if you're a human design reflector or whatever other type of human designs that need that alone space to recharge, that's okay if you need more of that. Because success that is sustainable, in whatever way success means to you, it must include intentional rest. Sustainability was described to me once, and it was in regard to a business. I've said this here before, but it was talking about a business. It said a sustainable business is a business that as it goes along doesn't create more problems. And I went, whoa, thinking about that. A sustainable life is a life that is trucking along without creating additional problems. So that's where we really want to look, right? When we are not resting, it creates problems, fatigue, stress, nervous system. You'll get sick more often. If you don't rest your muscles, you will get injured at the gym. The rest has to be part of the plan, not just a reward, not just when you get there, not looked at as lazy or passive, or your whole kingdom is going to, or queendom is going to crash if you walk away for a second. All of that, we have to put that aside, and it has to be part of the plan. From a spiritual lens, the pause is not about stopping, it's returning. So in some ways, this is where we find our capital S self, is in the pause. It's about returning to the source of who you truly are. So even if it's a health journey, when you pause, you return to you and your why and who you truly are, and you tell yourself good job, and that can actually fuel the forward momentum for tomorrow when you go for a walk or when you go to the gym. So pausing isn't about stopping. It's about returning to yourself, returning to your center, returning to your presence, and to the frequency of this is me, I am enough. I am driven toward this for a deeper reason. My source consciousness inside me, whatever, resonates with you, your inner Tahiti. This is where we come back to. And so from a spiritual perspective, more magic happens in the deepest alignment moments, in the purest downloads, in the most potent clarity. We often think the magic happens in the movement, in the goal, in the checkbox, in the big, money that's dumped into our account. But from a spiritual perspective, and ultimately the highest good perspective, so much magic happens in the pause. This is where we learn to surrender, to trust, to relax, to receive, to rest. So this is where you receive the nudges from source, receive the signs, receive the downloads, where the clarity comes to you, the breakthrough happens, the creative idea. This is where all of that is birthed. So the moment we surrender and just be here, your soul expands, because your soul doesn't evolve through hustle. It doesn't evolve through the bank account or the check boxes, the boxes you check, whatever. The soul expands through embodiment and through presence, through remembering itself. Okay, I'm going real deep. Welcome to Talia's world. Your soul expands when you remember more of who you are, when you tune into the frequency of love and the present moment and the magic of it all, into the feminine energy. Whether you identify as a man or a woman, whether you're masculine or feminine, we all have feminine energy, and that feminine energy is the receiving energy. It's the knowing. It's the flow. It's the creativity, as I'm saying. It's the spirit. It's the life force, and it lives in the pause. This is where your next vision comes. This is where your next step comes, as we're talking about on the path, the membership. You can check below if you want to check that out too. We're into Intuition Month all June. And this is where it happens. I'm literally getting everybody to create space to receive your intuition. So even if you take it away from intuition and spirituality, if you're never pausing, how do you know you're on the right path in your business? Are you just forcing it, or do you know because of reflection, because of alignment? With your health, are you just doing something, some plan you downloaded somewhere that doesn't even feel good? Or is it a deep knowing of how your highest self eats or moves their body or whatever? So we need to come into that pause to sort of gather my team wants to say our purest plan, like our highest good is in the pause. The pause is a sacred recalibration. And recalibration is where the power happens. Recalibration, repair, rest is literally where the muscle grows. The muscle doesn't grow when you're ripping it down in the bicep curl. The muscle grows when you rest it. It has to be part of the plan. Any athlete, anyone would say you have to have rest. You have to rest your legs. You have to rest your arms. You can't hit the same thing over and over. I want you to think about that. Sometimes even our mind is just, we need to do better. We need to be more productive. We need more self-care. We need to journal more. Right? That needs a rest too. Pause the push. So I'm going to go a little bit more tangible for a moment, and something that I want you to consider. Pausing can be in different areas of our life. So even in our money, having, I think I mentioned it a minute ago, but having maybe an account or a certain amount of money that's just for joy, that has space, that if you want a coffee or you want a this or that, no justification, no strategy, just overflow, just fun money. Having some space, not just pushing here and pushing there. Have a little bit of fun. Maybe it's in your schedule, creating time that isn't booked, planned, extra productive, space to just be, to breathe. Maybe it's in your business, blocking time into your calendar for flow, for creativity. That's a huge thing with entrepreneurs. There's working in your business and working on your business. And you have to have time to be in flow, to be in future visioning, to be in creative mode, to be in dreaming, to be in receiving the vision, not just working on. You need time for nothingness. So building space into the plan with your health, having days or weeks where you're not focused on fasting or you got to do this, got to do that. I even do where like every night I'm taking like my magnesium and my whatever the nighttime vitamins are. And every once in a while I just like let go of it for a few days because this is also just my energy, my personality. I sometimes need just space to breathe. But either way, whether it's your health or whatever kind of personality you have, find your way to create space. Because we all know what happens when you like cut carbs, calorie counting. Eventually, the pendulum swings the opposite direction. So it always will swing the opposite direction. If you work, you're going to get sick, or something that causes you to have to not work, something that causes you to have to rest. So we don't want to have to be swinging all over in the pendulum our whole life. We need to integrate space. So building your next level with rest included, not urgency, with clarity, not pressure. And again, having you check in, do I need to pause the push for just a moment? And I'm really going to encourage you to pick whether it's the next hour to relax on everything in your mind, or the next day, or for the next week. Just let go of all of the goals and the things that are starting to make you feel restricted, because your highest self will guide you back. When we're led by our highest self wants us to eat more veggies, or do the yoga class, or move our body, or meditate. So we'll come back. But sometimes, just like the gym, we have to pause. And if you hired a personal trainer and they said, okay, we're going to work out this day and this day, we're going to pause Thursday, Friday, we're going to come back on Saturday, you're not going to go what? What if I never come back? He'll be like, or the personal trainer's like, well, just come back and you're good, right? We don't have to worry that we're never going to come back ever again, because we're doing it differently. We're being led from our highest self, from self-love, from self-sacredness. So create a pocket of space, especially in that area that you have been going. I've been writing a book for over 3 years, and there was, I don't remember now, about a year ago, but I took 3-4 months where I just said to my editor, I just need a pause. I've been in it for so long. And when I was done being paused, I could not wait to get back. And then it just started moving forward so much, because it was I just needed that pause. I came back. It's an incredible project. It's not a bad, it's not a wrong. It's I literally needed a pause. We need time for nothingness. So I want to talk for a second about what holds us back from pausing, and then we're just going to wrap up. So we've been conditioned to believe that more is better, that momentum must be consistent, and momentum looks like steady action all the time, every single day, all the time, being really committed, right? We're taught consciously or subconsciously that if we pause, we fall behind. If we pause, the other shoe's going to drop. If we pause, it's all going to vanish in the night. And the truth is, things actually manifest faster when you're rooted, when you are in that receiving mode we're talking about, in the intuitive downloads, in an open energy, not when you're uprooted and scattered and in hustly energy. The pausing roots you. It puts you into a receptive mode. So it's not a step back. It's an energetic power move. So a lot of times that's just it. We are just conditioned that more is better. Hustle is accolades. Hustle is respect. We will get love. We will get success if we hustle. We have to be the best. We have to move forward the fastest. If we pause, we'll fall behind. So something in there is a belief that I'm sure you have. I know I can see myself in that for sure, where pausing is but it's all going to disintegrate. So find for you in there, oh yeah, there is kind of a crunchy belief in there about that. It came from, maybe your parents were really hardworking, or just society in general, what a woman should be, what a successful person is, what it looks like to have your own business, whatever it is, you've been conditioned, I'm sure. And now we are deconditioning. We are getting more in touch with our soul, more in touch with our spirit, and we allow that energy to catapult us forward into the physical action. We need to be recalibrated and rooted to strongly and with steadiness and resilience burst forward. So your momentum will be consistent when you zoom out, but when you zoom way in, it has to include little pockets of rest. So I want you to ask yourself, where in my life or business maybe, could a sacred pause for more space actually create some ease and some joy? Basically, where in my life do I need a sacred pause? Do I need to just pause the push for an hour, for a day, for a couple days, for a weekend? And how can you ask yourself, how can I honor both the desire to grow and be? How can we honor both the growth and the being present with what already is? Because we manifest our highest expression, our highest lives, not just by reaching, but by receiving what is already here, by integrating, by learning the skill of how to enjoy your life now so that you can also enjoy it later. And that happens by integrating, by breathing, by pausing. So this is your friendly check-in. Where do you need to pause? Are you looking for badges and gold stars in pushing? Do you need a little bit more soul alignment, sacred self-care, resting, rootedness, receiving energy? Okay, I genuinely hope that this has served you. And of course, this is what the retreat is all about. 3 nights, 4 days, sacred pause, chill, root in to burst forward. I cannot wait to see you there. The link is below, as well as on the path, my private community. Everything is below and more. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I genuinely hope that it served you. If you feel like you're in the give and back mood, I would be so honored if you left a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to the podcast. It really does help so much. And if you're looking for books to integrate into your life, to create daily practices, to keep you on your path of self-growth and awakening, you should check out my Amazon store. I've got a few daily practice style books that you can choose from, including Manifest This Shit, which is a coloring and activity book for manifestation. We've got the brand new one called Both Sides, which is a daily practice. And we've also got the bedtime ritual. So you can check out the link for that as well as other things in the show notes below. And I will see you in the next episode.